I'm live. Hello, everybody. How's it going? If you were with us earlier today, we had our weekly chat over on LaRasa's channel. Me, LaRasa, and Damie Reader, Sleepy Reader, Damien, Earl Grey will be back with us next week. And I think we are back on Sleepy Reader's channel next week. It was a great chat, as always. Managed to talk about everything that I read this week. So if you want to see that, go on over to that channel and check it out. So I thought I'd talk about a couple of things I picked up in the last couple of days here. 1 second. Uno. But before we get into that, in honor of Mr. Architectural Foam Panels and Columns, if you're not subscribed to his channel, go and check out his channel. In his latest video, he talks about this anthology, Suspect Device. This is the only issue that I have of this series. It just wasn't on my radar. I think I got it. I think I got turned onto it because I was into like John Vermiglia, who did the cover here, and a couple of these other artists before knowing much about Bear at all, not even really knowing his name. Probably got introduced to his name through this. But there's guys like Josh Burgraff in here as well, too, who I was familiar with through that Future Shock. Victor Curlo. What other names am I recognizing? Looking at here, Pataluzio, of course, yeah. And then a ton of names, honestly, that I don't. Yeah, Sam Henderson. A ton of names that I don't know at all. Names like Seth Mulvey, Sergio Zuniga. Names that I'm not familiar with even now. So the list of creators associated with this. So I don't know how many issues they did. 5, I want to say. And it sort of deals with kind of pop culture comic strips. Garfield, Nancy. I think they did some Popeye. Was one of the later issues as well. I don't know if they hit in things like Family Circus or anything like that, but kind of these classic, so-called classic strips, and then just tore them apart, completely fucked with them. Here's Burgraff's piece there, and just destroyed every bit of recognition of these artists. So I don't think that these are readily available anymore. Like I said, I was way out of touch with anything from kind of the Bear crew. Wasn't really on my radar, so I did manage to pick that one up, thankfully. So check out AFPC, as we call him. Check out his channel. Some fantastic content over there. One of the things that we talked about today, this afternoon, we started off talking about some shows that we were watching, Loki, etc. And one of the things that I am enjoying, or that I did enjoy a lot, was the first season of Sweet Tooth. I thought it was a really, really great show. Had my interest right from the jump. And there was one episode, I think, that drove me a little crazy. It takes place on a train. Distorted Reality. Hello. Gore Vidal. Hello. Sorry, I missed the show. LaRasa is enjoying Punisher and Stray Bullets. Yeah, I saw his fascinating video. Suspect Device looks interesting. Yeah, you were missed, Gore Vidal. So I really liked the first season of Sweet Tooth quite a bit. The one episode that drove me crazy, it drove me crazy from kind of like a working on films kind of side, but also kind of story-wise. It takes place on a train, and just in trying to make this train seem endless and where are we going as they're hunting for stuff, it was really driving me crazy. Like, well, which way did he go? Well, you can only go one of two directions on a fucking train, either that way or that way. And it was just, I don't know, it was a really weak point to try to like amp up this kind of sense of drama, to get these relationships, people meeting each other, and get kind of some plot points going. So that part drove me a bit nuts, but the rest of the show I thought was exceptionally good. I really, really enjoyed it. I really hope that it gets picked up for a second season. I watch every once in a while, I watch a couple of other shows here on YouTube. One of them is Grail Keepers, another one is Masters of Evil. And I think it was on the Masters of Evil one, they were talking about Sweet Tooth, and it seems to be, from, again, the little bit of conversation that I've had or seen on YouTube, it seems to be one of those rare comic events where they both loved the comic and loved the show, even though the two were pretty different from each other. I think there was enough in the show from the comic that kept the story kind of true to form, but there was still a lot of changes within the show too. And I mean, I don't really know. I was asking them in the chat what they thought what that magic ingredient was with the fact that they liked both. And I think at the end of the day, a quality fucking story is a quality story, right? And it just seems like there's a lot of meat here. Some of the themes that they touched on in the show apparently get expanded a lot in this comic. I keep looking down because I picked up the Sweet Tooth Compendium. So all, what is it, 40 issues? I think it's 40. Yeah, the full 40 issue series. So DC Comics, Black Label. This is out on the Black Label imprint, which I guess is their sort of modern day Vertigo. And I've read a few of the issues already. This normally hardcover would be the way to go. In this case, soft cover is absolutely the way to go. Opens really nicely. You can read everything. Yeah, like I said, I'm about 4 issues in. The other thing that really surprised me was how quick the comic moves through that opening kind of chunk of stuff. The show kind of really milks stuff and really works on things, which is not a criticism. I think it works really well, but I was really surprised to see how far into the story we get just after even the first 2 issues, never mind the first 4. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'll slowly make my way through that absolute beast. But apparently some of the stuff that they touch on in here that they sort of touched on in the show, just kind of what's happening to these hybrids, these hybrid children, and just how they're kind of used in this new world, seems a little disturbing from what they were hinting on the Masters of Evil show. Only read 2 volumes, but I liked it not enough to make me want to stay with it. I haven't seen the show. Yeah, and it's one of those things I always wanted to check it out because I heard a lot of good things about it, and I just never got around to it. You can't read everything, but this show really piqued my interest in wanting to see what the hell Lemire did in comic book form. While you're here, Gore Vidal, we'll jump right into this. I'll kind of rearrange the things that I was talking about. I've been going through all the comics, been getting rid of a lot of bags and boards, been really conscious of trying to decrease the amount of waste that I'm producing with my kind of incessant collecting bullshit, and kind of putting miniseries into one bag. So I had a stockpile of bags and boards left over, hundreds of them, literally. And I put the word out to the local comic addicts to see if anybody wanted them. Not for sale or anything, just please just take these. I'd rather see these get reused than me having to recycle the cardboard and get rid of all the plastic. So one of the guys, Daniel Hall, who runs Mad Cat Comics over at the flea market just down the road from me, he jumped on it right away, gave him everything, which was really great because the guy's got a fantastic little shop there in the flea market. Really nice guy. From, as I've raved about them over and over again, this Winnipeg Comics Comic Addicts group are filled with really, really good dudes. So I'm really glad that I went to a good home. I went and saw him today because I hadn't been to the flea market in a long time. It was open, it was closed, it was limited people. It's sort of open now. Hello, Comic Board. Nice to see you. So he was really thankful for all the bags and boards and stuff. So I picked up some stuff from him today and I sent him a list. I'm hoping to fill in some gaps in my heavy metal magazines because he had some heavy metal magazines there that I didn't have, which was really great, especially once I started looking through them. The first one that I'll show you that's definitely Gore Vidal worthy, this Bride of Heavy Metal, which I've never seen out in the wild. notable for Mr. Vidal, as there is Hello Anita by Guido Crepax starting off this issue. So I guess this Bride of Heavy Metal was all new stories complete in this issue. So this is 1985 is when this one came out. And there's something a little different about this paper stock that this first story is printed on. It's really, really nicely reproduced. There's a real nice texture. It's not kind of it's not quite newsprint, but it's a little closer to that than kind of the usual glossy magazine. And just, you know, I mean, I don't need to say much more about Crepax. It's really gorgeous stuff. I'm assuming that this has made its way into one of the collections, but this one looks fantastic. I just started reading it this afternoon, and then got called away to finish up some yard work. Yeah, and I mean, like I said, Gore, this one I've never seen around out there. When I do see heavy metal magazines, I don't tend to see a lot of heavy metal magazines. We were talking about it. Me and Dan were talking about it. Conan, he can't seem to get rid of. And I mean, that makes a little more sense because Conan magazines, I see everywhere I go. I don't think I've been to a place where you don't see Savage Sword of Conan or Conan Saga. But for heavy metal, you don't often see them out there. Look at this last page. Really amazing, really nice stuff. You don't often see heavy metal magazines out there, or at least I don't anyway. Who else do we have in here? J.D. King, P. Buffin. Some beautiful color stuff. Let's see what else we can show you here. Illustrated by Gawkler, I think is how you pronounce that name. This is Eldfell. So I'm pretty excited to dip into these, this one specifically, but I'm looking forward to all of these. We'll have a quick look through some of the other ones as well too. Back up. Juan Jimenez. Hello, Mr. Masked Panther. How you doing, man? Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, Breccia. Sorry, Alberto Breccia. Dracula. Which side here? Dracul, Dracula, Vlad. So there you go. So yeah, a really nice score in really, really nice shape. So that's a nice bonus. Another one, the best of heavy metal. This is issue number 2, with a recreation of one of the early issues of Heavy Metal magazine. And here's who we have in there: Bilal Kaza, Clavlo, Corbin Drier, McKee, Mobius, Nicolay, Picotto, Skoiten, and Soydom. Where was the... I think it was in this one where we get some really nice Drier. Maybe it wasn't in this one. One of these anyway. No, it definitely wasn't in this one. There was a nice Drier center spread that just looked fantastic. Of course, everybody's favorite, Corbin. And then just for the single issues to fill in some of the gaps. So April 1982. Nice cover there. Yeah, here we go. This is the one. There you go. Beautiful center spread by Drier there for his piece. And then another one on the next page too. Really great. That heavy metal issue I have, Who's Who of Great Talent. Yeah, and that's the thing about this stuff. There's just so many fucking amazing artists. And I mean, a lot of this stuff I now, or more of it, I have collected as I kind of dive more into that world and the collected versions of stuff. Oh, the Mercenary, check that out. Looks like a El Topo hat there. I've had a couple of the issues of the newer heavy metal stuff comic board. And honestly, I stopped getting it. I wasn't subscribed to it or anything. It wasn't on my pull list at the shop, but I would pick up issues here and there. I was interested in it at first when it came out. And I mean, it didn't really grab me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the old man in me that kind of, that ain't my heavy metal, you know what I mean? But I did give it a shot, and I do still have them in the boxes, but there just wasn't much in there that was grabbing me and making me want to kind of continue to pick it up. It's stocked here in all the shops, which is really great. So I'm glad that it's out and it's seeing the light and people are picking it up. But it hasn't stuck with me too much. Oh, hey, is this? Oh shit, man! I didn't look through this one. Terrence R. Lindahl doing the final story in here called Silence. Well, hell. I didn't realize that. He's done some covers for I think it was either eerie or creepy or maybe both. I didn't know he did too much interior art. I love the covers that I have of his, but this is a look at kind of his interior stuff. Really cool. Well, that's a nice surprise to open it up. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, hey. Metal Hurlant launch may have never happened if Zap Comics hadn't existed or made it to Europe. Yeah, I mean, you know, as you are well aware from me and my channel, like, I think the undergrounds are hugely important. Check this out, Texarkana, which I have the collected of, one of the chapters there. I think the undergrounds are of a huge benefit and a very, very important part of the history of, you know, the mainstream's transition to alternative and underground, and people just kind of taking comics in a completely different direction. As much as people understandably don't dig them for their content, I still think it's really, really important. Oh man, look at all this stuff. Automax. Very, very important, and it's good to see that, or it's good to hear that they had such a impact across the globe, never mind just in North America. Oh man, I love these early issues. Yeah, so I sent him a list of ones that I'm missing. I'm kind of going from 1977 to 85-ish is kind of the main focus of my collection there for the heavy metal magazines. Not that there was bad stuff after that, it's just that's where I'm focusing my time. I have random issues from the 90s and stuff, but this era is just chock full of goodness for me. So I'm sticking here. And this next one is December 1984. Director Federico Fellini interviewed as well, with an amazing Corbin cover there. Yeah, I was really, really surprised. Normally when I do see heavy metals, they're all pretty much, I end up seeing the same kind of handful of issues everywhere. So it was nice to kind of flip through a box and see, well, I definitely don't have that one. Don't recognize that cover, you know, so a nice tiny stack. More Texarkana. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, hey, look at this. So we were looking at, hey, so this is clearly, I'm not, I haven't looked through all of these. We were talking about him in the stream today. Here's Enslaved by the Needle by Jost Zwarte. We were looking at his collection that I have there. Let's pull that sucker out. Is that all there is? We talked about this on Russ's channel today, and this was a read that I did this week. Really great. So let's go to that story in here. So nice to have this in a bigger size. I just want to kind of do a side-by-side of the colors. I think this is it here. Oh man, pretty good. A little more reddish. So here's that same page. That car there. I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but has more of an orange feel to it or look to it in this. That lettering, yeah, lettering is almost the same. There's a little bit of an outline in the heavy metal one, so did some cleanup, changed a few things for this edition of it. And then here's that same page here. Oops, look around this side. Yeah, so that car's a lot more red, and then just a couple of the changes to the lettering at the top there to have it kind of sit on top of that sun. So that's very cool. That's really great to have that side by side. Oh, is this a section from the hunting party? Yeah, there we go. The hunting party. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, you'd mentioned that before, Gore. That's according to Sergio Aragones, who was living in France in the 70s. He said that led to creators leaving magazines that wouldn't allow them to do stories like that and starting mags like Heavy Metal. Amazing. Yeah, the kind of the impetus to go out on their own and tell their own stories, which is great. Oh, my man. The Walls of Samaris. Fucking A, man. I love it. And that's the thing, like, you're getting these classic stories in this magazine format. I mean, look at the use of that page. That is top to bottom, side to side panels. You know, there's no weird cropping going on there other than at the bottom a little bit. Is this Rocco Vargas? Looks like here. Yeah, that definitely is, because I recognize that panel. Yeah. Oh, fly, go away. I hear you buzzing. I'll pay attention to you later. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it really is, Gore. It's really, really nice. They also, I think it was, I've got the collected of it as well, but it also made an appearance, I think, in Cheval Noir as well, too. And then this one is April 1985. Richard Corbin's new Bodyssey. Happy 8th anniversary. Yeah, what the heck? Let's just keep. Oh, hey, yes. Is this? Yeah, Big Baby. Or sorry, El Borba. El Borba by Charles Burns. Excellent. That's beautiful, man. That's amazing. Trade you my fly for your fly. A Texan fly. I don't know. Texan flies, they're probably enormous. The thing with Winnipeg flies is they last through the winter too. They hibernate on your windowsill and then they burst back to life come springtime. Oh, look at that. And some more Yost Swarta. Goodbye. Beautiful, man. Wow, that's exciting. I'm actually really thrilled by that. That's pretty fantastic. Read those suckers with the fresh eyes, the bigger format. Beautiful, beautiful. There's that one. Put these ones over there. And finally, the final one for the heavy metals that I picked up today. This is September 1985. Let's flip through a couple of things here. There we go. Let's get some Corbin. Let's get some Corbin on screen here. Oh man, so great. So great. Yeah, there's something about the quality. Even these pages here, I guess maybe I'm thinking later era with the magazine. I haven't flipped through my heavy metals for quite a while. It feels like it's different paper on some of these though. Beautiful. Very, very cool. Anyway, that's the heavy metal magazines. Oh, what do we got here? Some Garbage Pail Kids. So that was the magazine section. And then I found some just a dollar bin, 50-cent bin comics that I didn't have. I don't rush out to collect all these, but when they're cheap enough and I find one I don't have, I grab these Ghost Manor. There's lots of Ditko spread throughout this series. This is number 15 from 1973. And, you know, the classic horror anthology. Let's see who we can find in here. Jack Abel. Yeah, it was a pretty good deal. He gave me a really good deal because some of those magazines are pretty expensive. They're like $7 to $10 each. I think I paid like $2 a pop for most of them. Here we go. There's a Steve Ditko one there. So very nice of him to cut me a deal. I'm going to have some more bags and boards for him as I kind of finish off. I have another short box full of them that I'll pass on to him. Because one of the things he was saying to me is like, you know, it's great. I don't have to spend this money. That means I can, you know, pass savings on to people when they come to see me. I don't have to, I can charge a little less even and give people deals when I know that I don't have to buy bags and boards for these collections that he gets. The amount of boxes this guy has, it's unbelievable. Long box after long box. So it's such a fun place to dig. When you come and visit me, when Texas moves up here, Gore, that'll be one of the places that I take you. Secrets of Haunted House. This is issue number 36. Another in the anthology horror magazines that I pick up every once in a while. One of the only issues that I was missing from kind of like 150 to the end of the run, issue 178 from Unexpected. I love when they do that with the colors, like having a creature just in one color. It looks like it's just overlaid right onto that image. Really like the effect that gives there. Very cool cover on that one. Yeah, I haven't flipped through many of these here. George, what is it? Kashdan, right? Yeah, Kashdan. And art by, oh boy, Romy Bamboa. Is that what it says? Anyway, Slow to Strangle. An oddity. I know there was two of them. He had this one in the bins, the Superhero Book of Goodies. So basically just a collection, a comic book collection of ads and for various paraphernalia, superhero paraphernalia. So I thought this one would be fun to kind of flip through, see what kind of stuff they were selling back in whatever year this came out. 1977 is when this one came out. An advertisement for the Kubert School of Cartoon and Graphic Art. Get your Spider-Man plane and a dartboard, Marvel dartboard. The Comic Art Library. That looks cool. That's a cool ad. Great. So yeah, a comic book about comic book. It's, yeah, exactly. The Superhero Book of Goodies. Well worth it. This one grabbed me for the cover. I love the title treatment on this one. Null Patrol from company Escape Velocity that I've never heard of before. When I looked it up on the CLZ, it looks like there was only ever 2 issues. It's got a Wizards kind of feel to it. Bakshi Wizards kind of feel with these two main characters here. They look like characters right out of that movie. Yeah, there probably is one. Yeah, no doubt there will be. So this looked fun. Again, one of them that I grabbed purely because of the cover. And that's one of the fun things about, because he was talking about how he's like, I'm surprised you guys always, you know, I'm always surprised when people come and spend so much time digging through the bins. He's like, I really wish I could organize stuff a little better. It's like, man, don't even worry about it. It's kind of half of the fun, skimming through these bins and getting a mix. You never really know what you're going to find. Issue 1 of Mr. Monster Attacks. This fly is going to drive me absolutely bonkers. From Tundra. I saw the Tundra logo on there and thought I'd give it a try. This is issue 1 of 3, so just a 3-issue miniseries. Didn't have the other ones, unfortunately. with a Bisley Mr. Monster plastered on the back. I didn't flip through it. I thought it was going to be kind of the classic Mr. Monster stuff that I have, where it has a little bit of a Mr. Monster story and then has reprints of stuff. This one is purely a Mr. Monster story, which is fine. But I prefer kind of the issues where they kind of reprint old stuff. Speaking of heavy metal, looks like that orb from the movie there. Very, very slowly but surely chipping away at this Coyote run. Number 6 here. He only had 2 issues, and this was the only one that I didn't have. So yeah, what can I say? Coyote. Slowly getting my mitts on it. I haven't read too much of them. I've read 1 or 2 of them. And I wish he had more of these. This was he had a couple of copies of this issue. Caliber Presents is one of those that I'd love to kind of get into and pick up some of the early stuff. I know that there's going to be some that'll probably I'll be priced out of, because I think didn't the Crow make his first appearance in Caliber Presents, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm sure that there's going to be ones that I don't. Hey, look, it's an alternate haha cover. There's going to be ones that I'm definitely going to be priced out of, but it's worth picking these up for dirt cheap just to look at what was going on with Caliber. It feels like it's one of those companies on the side that I just passed over for many, many years. So dip my toes back in. Who is this here? The Verdict. Central Station, Thermo City. Of course, it doesn't have an artist attached to that. Why would it? Verdict. Art, Dean Haspill. Yeah, Martin Powell and Dean Haspill. So there you go. A little bit of that. Comics I'm reading are Mike Carey's Hellblazer, the last 60 issues of Cerebus that have Fitzgerald and Hemingway's characters, and Supergirl comics. I changed my mind. Your Fly is scarier. Amazing. Yeah, Hellblazer. Man, I'd love to. That's another one of those that I just didn't read when it was coming out. Even though I was reading some Sandman, I was reading a bunch of Vertigo stuff. I just wasn't reading very many Hellblazer. I had a few issues here and there, but nothing major. And then just 2 books that I picked up from. I thought I had more stuff that I picked up from them, but I went to Red River Bookshop with the kids. I was hunting. Oh, that's right. I picked up the Serenity stuff that I talked about today. Paul Pope Solo. I used to have this one. For some reason, the few issues of Solo that I had years ago, I traded them away, and I don't know why the hell I would even do that. Chances are this was my issue, because if I traded it away, I probably traded it to Red River Books. So this is great to have back. I know that there's a collection of these Solo books, but I kind of want the single issues. I kind of want the single issues back. So that was nice to grab, with an OMAC story in there. I think that's who that is, right? OMAC. And something called, a little anthology called Scatterbrain. I have one other issue of this one. I don't remember if I enjoyed it too much or not, but went through and saw Dave Cooper and picked it up. Flipped through it, saw this, just instantly picked it up. Instant pickup. I don't know a ton of Dave Cooper stuff, comic-wise. What was it? Cow and Chicken? What the hell was that show that he did? And then another nice surprise, some Steve Parkhouse, who I really dig his art. The Bo Jeffries stuff that I have from him is really great. Hello, Tylox the Mighty. Missed out on Sandman. I don't think I've ever even come across it in the wild. I need to hunt them down. Yeah, absolutely. Vertigo's 300 Hellblazer issues are like watching 300 different variations of the film Angel Heart. Oh, that's amazing. Wasn't that the one with, is that the one with De Niro and what's her name from Cosby Show? Yeah, and I mean, Travis, Oddfellow's thoughts, he would always rave about Hellblazer. And like I said, the issues that I did read, I thoroughly enjoyed. And then this guy whose name I'm blanking on right now, I think he was in Tantalizing Stories with Jim Woodring. Let's find his name. Mark Martin, with some very unique art there. So you know me and my independent, what is this, 1998 90s anthologies. You can't go wrong as far as my money is concerned. The other thing that I got from Red River was issue 2 to 5 of this Serenity Leaves on the Wind series. And I sat down yesterday afternoon and I read them just back to back. Oh yeah, and Mickey Rourke, that's right. Yeah. Loved this. The one criticism I would have is that they get some characters from the TV show Early. What's his name? Early, that bounty hunter who kind of latches onto their spaceship and kind of jumps from his ship into the Serenity to kind of apprehend the crew. They play that gimmick again in here, pretty much the same way, except they catch him and then they dump him out with the garbage. So it seemed like it was just thrown in there just for like, hey, you like the show? Here he is again, and we're just going to play that exact same gag, which I thought was a tiny bit lazy, but I do understand why they would want to do something like that. They know who their audience is, and you know, they know that for the most part they're going to get a thrill out of those kind of things. But this is fantastic because the series that I'm reading now, Zoe's daughter, who's now 18, 19, 20, 16, I'm not really sure. This is the series where she was born. So it's Zoe's been captured and she's given birth to this baby that's on the ship. Zoe's been captured by the Alliance, and it's just all going to hell, and they're now just mounting a rescue operation to go and get her back. So much fun. I need more Serenity and Firefly comics. I need more. I need to find a ton more at dirt cheap prices because I'm loving it. That's it, everybody. That was all of it. If you don't know this, I've said it a couple of times, please check out Charles Forsman's Patreon. Please support him. Please give this a shot. I read the first 10 issues and it's fantastic. I'm pretty sure I talked about it already in a video, but seeing it here sitting on the stack, please give it a shot. This is really, really great stuff so far. The twists and turns that it's taking right out of the gate are pretty impressive. I'm looking forward to get my hands on the remaining. I think there's 18 issues total, 18 or 20. So that's half of it done. I want to get the next half. So thanks very much. Next weekend on Sunday, it'll be on Sleepy Reader's channel. Thanks very much, Gore Vidal, for hanging out. Pardon me, Tylox the Mighty, Comic Board, and who did we have at the beginning? Distorted Reality, of course. Thanks very much for hanging out, everybody, and we'll talk to you.